Hello everyone, my name is Michael and welcome to episode 22 of The Worst Outtakes. I hope you're all excited for this episode, I know I am, so without further delay, let's hop straight in. In this episode of The Worst Outtakes, we'll be doing another Sieg retelling. In the last Outtakes, we did the first half of what happened in the Islands of Spire, and in this one, we'll be covering the other half and all the crazy stuff that happened there. But before I can get into all that, last time on The Worst Outcome, our group started their long trek with Brian Goot. This trip would not only get them closer to their destination, it would also give them funding, which was a necessity for later travels. During the long road, they come across a small little village, which Brian wants us to stop in to grab some supplies, namely a bell for Memor, so he can alert us during nighttime watches. Mud exchanged bugs with someone else, and Nyland bought some ink. They hit the road for a little bit longer and set up camp. Brian Goot, wanting to get to know his protectors a bit more, asks Memor to tell us about himself, to which he obliges. He describes his homeland of Montauk and why he had to leave it, and also about his brother and that whole situation. The conversation lasts a while, and everyone decides to turn in. Mud and Memor stay up to watch for any attackers, and they have a nice conversation with each other, talking about the future and Mud's views on a lot of things. Come the morning, Mud gets the strange idea to cast Lesser Restoration on Brian. It heals his mind, which apparently was fractured, and he remembers who he really is, and after being filled in on what his other half has done, has a little bit of a breakdown and decides, let's get drunk. With the recap out of the way, it's now time for a quick reminder on the party. We have Raldwak, the Dampier fighter, who was being played by Jay, or Memor, the centaur paladin. Creo, the tiefling warlock/paladin, was played by Finn/Oam. Hizwin, the gnome artificer, was played by Reese, or Mud. And Quix, who is our new character, the high elf Banneret fighter, was played by me. A little bit of background on Quix. He was a soldier of Spire. He served in their Griffin Knights section and fought tooth and nail for king and country. In his last engagement, him and his team were stabbed in the back by their own commander, Lord Margot, and left for dead on that battlefield. He survived, made his way back, and has taken up the call to help protect Lord Margot. But he's biding his time to find a way to kill him and get revenge. With the new party member added in and a reminder of who everyone's playing, let's go on to the Sieg retelling. Continuing from last time, Stream was killed on the approach to Lord Margot's tower. Upon exiting the bag of holding, they notice his dead body, but do not have time to grieve. They soldier on immediately to the battle ahead. With a few successful stealth checks, they manage to make their way inside the fortress and immediately begin fighting. They tear apart the first wave of knights and move on to Lord Margot himself in an instant. This was where Quick saw his chance to turn his blade on Lord Margot and attacked. Seeing another person as a potential ally, they team up and fight him together. The battle was hard won, but the group had prevailed. Margot was slain, and they had a chance to actually speak with one another. During this conversation, Quix recognizes Hizwin. Quix has been a knight to the Kingdom of Spire for over 100 years, and pledges his blade to the true royal line, instead of the false king. The group decide to lay low for the rest of the day, and mourn the loss of their ally Stream. During this time, Hizwin starts planning the retaking of his home, and a mighty siege to kill the false king. Once the plan was finished, all Hizwin needed now was soldiers. The party goes around Spire, gathering close friends of Hizwin before he was exiled. Most of the people who sided with him fought simply to remove the current ruler because of his unfair laws. A small minority, however, fought because they believed in Hizwin and wanted the true heir back. After some strings were pulled, they managed to meet an official from inside who was a close friend of Hizwin's back when they were younger. He tells us that this new king had been making deals with demons, one of the 5 strongest ones, the Briar Lady, a devil so powerful that even speaking its name makes you bound in contract to them. With all the hands that they were able to muster, and all the gear that they could prepare, they turned their sights on the castle itself and mustered before their gates. The enemy realized quickly what was happening and mobilized to fight us outside. Their main force consisted mainly of knights, some artillery, and one of Spire's most elite, the Griffin Knights, mighty warriors who are well trained and disciplined, who fight on the back of a griffin. We dispatched a first enemy force and make it inside the castle. The party went through the palace room by room to try and find the throne, but was surprised to find one of the false king's closest advisors. He brandished his new might gifted to him by the Briar Lady, and we had to take him down. He was strong, way stronger than any man should be able to become. Quix took the brunt of all the attacks, giving Raudoak time to finish the job. After he fell, they realized that they were getting worn down by the constant battling and had to move quickly, or the siege would fail. They pressed onwards towards the throne room at the fastest pace they could muster, hoping that it wouldn't be too late. We found the false king in the throne room as we expected. He had just finished completing a ritual to revive Lord Margot and his other advisors. The battle was 5 versus 3 in the enemy's favour. To even the odds, Quix took on 3 at once, holding them back. It took everything he had, and he was beaten within an inch of his life, but just long enough for the final blow to be dealt. Hizwin was able to destroy the false king's body with a spell. However, before his dying breath could be taken, he uttered a chant that caused the entire castle to start descending into the mountain over below, which is this world's equivalent of hell. The group attempted to flee, but Quix was killed and left behind. He died fighting for his country, the death he wanted. Hizwin and Raudoak were able to escape. They looked behind them at the sinking palace, and before any talk of coronation or ascension to the throne could be had, they decided to drink away everything that just happened in the local tavern with the rest of their surviving soldiers. As they drank, Raudoak spoke of how all of his allies keep dying around him. He went to start drinking in sorrow when the tavern doors flew open with a loud bang, and a familiar voice spoke. With that, it's time for the outro. Thank you all very much for watching. This was episode 22 of the Outtakes. Next week will be episode 23 of the main podcast, and I hope you're all really excited for that. Feel free to message us on Instagram at TWODNDpodcast. That is TWODNDpodcast. Or you can find us through the YouTube comment section. We do our best to try and get to all of those. If you want to keep a track of our uploads and all that, you can find us on most social medias. We have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Twitter/X, we have a Reddit, but don't go there. We also can be found on Spotify and other such devices. Once again, thank you all very much for watching. I've been Michael, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.
All right, well.
So, can we name this episode The Glorious Adventures of Brian Goot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is absolutely what this episode's
It's just
going to
going
be
to be
about.
an hour of us trying not to save this man's life.
Yeah, and him just generally listing fantasy and like D&D creatures, but just saying Goot at the end. Just general description.
The many-eyed tentacle Goot.
The
Seafaring Goot.
The one-eyed weird Goot thing that crawls on my ceilings and makes me go blind.
The floating, many-eyed Goot that hates magic.
Little Goot.
But we all know the initial is the mightiest of them all. Most things I've found are plants.
Look upon the Goot on the ground.
The Ghibli Goot flower.
I'm sorry.
Smell its petals.
I know this is derailing it a tiny bit.
How can you derail it more?
I just have an idea of like Hizwin, because he works with herbs. He's just like, I got a herb book from another country. It's all Goot.
What the fuck is a Goot? What the fuck is it? How do I figure that out? How do I know what that is?
Just describing it and saying Goot.
I said, yeah, this could be a book of fucking people. This could be a legend. This could be a fucking obituary. I don't know what this is.
My family is large.
My Goots are bigger. These Goots are made for walking.
fucking title. That's the episode title. These Goots are made for walking. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can we have
We're
that
the
in
Goots!
brackets?
Yes!
The Glorious Adventures of Brian's
Yes.
Goots. My Goots are made for walking.
These
This
Goots.
is just the name of his book.
Yeah. Oh my god,
that's
these
what
Goots
this
are made
trip
for
is for.
walking. Yeah.
He's not researching anything. He's just writing another book.
I
Yeah.
am.
And the book is more of a fucking list. It's just every page is just a list of the description and then Goot.
No. It is definitely like a fairly decent like ecology book. The only thing that's so
compendium.
stupid is
the
that
name,
everything
conventions.
has Goot in it.
Yeah, like this man could, for all we know, have the most like assembled, complete picture of the ecology of the entire world, but nobody would fucking know because he's schizophrenic and calls everything Goot because he's a wank.
He's definitely going to have a spell that I'm going to make. He seems like the type that would...
Power word Goot.
No, it's like just like Brian Goot's Mighty Shoes.
But no, come on, Brian Goot's mighty boots.
Yeah, okay.
It has to be his mighty
Jesus
boots.
Christ.
Fine.
Okay, it's an older one, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, like, uranium can't exist in my world. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just... So it's this world's version of...
I wish for uranium.
But it makes up for that with like
make sense.
adamantium and mithril.
Here you are.
Oh, that's what Owen's wish
And I
should
just-
be.
I just, like, I
you
put
know,
my
I'm fine
face
with
on
my
it, just-
disease, but I wish everyone else had cancer.
Pardon?
You can keep that.
With the BBL, we can all fit on it.
No. He left it.
Can we
at the
not?
start.
Yeah.
Nutra can't even.
You left it behind.
What happens in Nutricon stays
He's a
in
Nutra
Nutricon.
can't. Exactly. This is why we're not going after Rinzak anymore.
Because of you.
Because it was left. Because it happened in Nutra Khan.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
that's why we're ignoring this bony demon ghosty lichy.
In fact, actually, this rich man doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
He's in Nutricon. He never left.
guys.
And then he runs off into the woods.
He's just like a little naked goblin man.
Yeah, like the fucking Scooby Doo mask comes off, and it's just two goblins stacked upon each other.
Yeah.
He goes, and he floats away.
Yeah. By the clear foot, I have more size, so I
mean,
need more equality.
Yes, I'm wide. I'm a wide, fat man. And I
That's
need all
why
your
fat
money.
centaurs are incentivized.
Yeah. Incentivized.
Incentivized.
Well, yeah, because the fat ones can't rebel.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I want my diet shoulder.
I mean, which one do you, as the DM, think would be most narratively interesting to lay out for the podcast?
Not Muds.
Yeah.
I was born. I'm here now. That's it.